Is Luka Doncic already an all-time white player? Now, I bring this up for a specific reason. And the biggest reason I bring this up is because recently Don Nelson got himself back in the news by trashing the Dallas Mavericks for trading Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. Even though if you look at the analytics this year and the actual data, there wasn't much difference between the two. And it actually wasn't the worst trade that had ever been done. I'm just going to say that. Okay. So uh, I think that we are really, really overvaluing Luka, and I've thought for a while. Now let's talk about let's just have a little fun. Let's talk about Luka and his standing among great white players in NBA history. And I got to be honest, I'm not a fan. I'm not a believer in Luka. Now, I do believe in analytics, and analytics would suggest that Luka is the second best white player of all time in NBA history, only to Nikola Jokic. But you also have to understand that analytics, in many ways, are very heavily skewed towards players of this era, particularly shooting guards and guards who can score, because of the way the game has changed. So this is where you do have to apply your eye test to a certain degree and who has the championship pedigree. And Luka Doncic, I'm sorry, I'm offended as a white person to consider Luka Doncic an all-time white player. One, he ain't the best white player in the league right now. That would be Nikola Jokic. Okay, we all know that. We would all agree probably Larry Bird is the best white player of all time. I'm not taking Luka over Jokic or Bird. Jokic is better now. And Larry Bird, while the analytics weren't there, Larry Bird did have that was skewed too because of the way he ended his career playing so injured towards the end. It's not the same as prime Larry Bird was. Larry Bird was a better passer. Larry Bird was a better rebounder. I think he would have been a better shooter if the game valued the three-point shot during that time the way they do now. So yes, Larry Bird is better than Luka Doncic. Dirk Nowitzki. Again, Luka's got better analytics than Dirk, and Dirk played closer to the era that valued analytics. I'm not going to take anything away from him on that, but at the same time, Dirk also has a lot of his advanced metrics heavily skewed by just how not that great he was after winning that title with Dallas in 2011. It was heavily skewed the last 8 years he played in Dallas and played in the NBA. He only had a PER over 20 twice after that and just completely sunk. And so I still have Dirk Nowitzki over Luka Doncic. I do. I'm sorry. Prime Dirk, I think, was better. Moving on. Pistol Pete. Yeah, no, Pistol Pete, better than Luka Doncic. Jerry West, better than Luka Doncic. John Stockton, John Havlicek, Bob Cousy, George Mikan, the original great of the NBA, the Michael Jordan of the 1950s. Got all these guys over Luka. Steve Nash, better than Luka, a two-time MVP. Bill Walton, before he got hurt, was better than Luka. He won an MVP. Okay, Dave Cowens and Bob Pettit both won MVPs. I got all these guys above Luka Doncic. I'm sorry. I don't love Luka. I don't love his game. I think it's everything. It is everything about how you can, people would say about how you can manipulate analytics to get what you want. And I don't love that. Luka Doncic, I'm sorry, not a fan of his game whatsoever. I think it's weak. I think it's a very much a James Harden style of game. He's still a great player, but I just wanted to point this stuff out and wanted to bring this up today because I'm tired of this whole Luka Doncic being one of the all-time great whites. No, he's not. And I think that he, while is one of the better ones and definitely one of the best ones in the league right now, I think it's ridiculous to crown him where we've crowned him to this point. Luka was a total liability for the Lakers to a certain degree in the playoffs this past year, given what he does. And a lot of his analytics, by the way, particularly his PER, the reason his PER is so high, I want to point this out. And by the way, it's the PER that is really the only analytic that puts him above a lot of these guys. That's because his usage rate is so high. He's at a 36.4 usage rate, the highest as of right now in NBA history. It's an all-time career record. So his PER stats are going to be really high. What's kind of embarrassing is that his value over replacement was really, really, really low this past year. His defensive box plus minus is almost a negative. His box plus minus is 5.3. And also, again, Luka Doncic, one of the things that we always forget about him, the dude averages almost 4 turnovers a game for his career. Okay, he almost averages 4 turnovers a game and barely over 8 assists. I know you're like, that's a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, but no, I don't like the almost 4 turnovers a game. Okay, even with the and shooting 35% from three is just not enough. So no, he's not an all-time white player. He could be, but he's already pushing it, and he's got a lot further to go. And I just bring this up because of the conversation I had the other day about Don Nelson talking about the Luka Anthony Davis trade. I don't think there was much of an issue there. So with that being said, though, where does Luka go on my all-white NBA team this year? Because it is time, baby, to have fun and have and deliver the all-white NBA team for 2024-2025. And we're going to do this on a regular basis, give out the awards where they are deserved. So let's have a little fun. With the NBA Finals in full swing, it is time for our all-white 2024-25 NBA team. Let's get rolling at center. No doubt about it. The best player in the NBA for the last 5 years. The only player in the NBA to be the leader of a team and win a title without another all-star over this period of time and have this level of dominance. Nikola Jokic, the center. He's the center on my all-white NBA team. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA. Love the guy. That's not even a debate. At power forward, joining Nikola Jokic, Domantas Sabonis for Sacramento, a double-double machine, 19 points, 13 rebounds. Left-handed shot is extremely hard to guard and doing white people a service everywhere by being a 6'10 guy who shoots 41.7% from three. That's doing well for the white race. At the wing, this is where I put Luka Doncic. I would put him at the 2 or the 1. I want to put Franz Wagner at the wing, but Franz Wagner is an ultimate disgrace to the white race. Okay, he is a wing who shot 29% from three. That is not what I expect out of my white players in the NBA. If you're a wing, you got to be an elite shooter, and because he can't, Franz Wagner does not belong on this list, and I am kicking off the German, and I'm putting Luka Doncic on the wing. Luka Doncic, self-explanatory, still has issues. I think is overrated, but I do think is the second best white player in the NBA as of right now. So Luka Doncic on the wing. At the shooting guard position, Tyler Herro. That's right. Tyler Herro is my shooting guard for the all-white NBA team. Tyler Herro does the white race well in so many ways with Miami. Not only is he an elite shooter, not only is he an elite free throw shooter, shooting almost 90% at times, but the reason he does the white race so well is he has a negative defensive box plus minus for his career. He has never had a defensive box plus minus in the positive. That is doing the white race well. Okay, that's right. We don't want any defensive players. We want those elite shooters. And Tyler Herro is that star at 6'5", 195, averaging 23.9 points, 5 rebounds, 5.5 assists. Tyler Herro is my starting shooting guard and my starting point guard on this year's 2024-2025 all-white NBA team. Peyton Pritchard of Boston. That man should be starting. He's an NBA champion. Coming off the bench, he averaged 14.3 points, 3.5 assists, 0.9 steals, did average a turnover coming off the bench, but at the same time, a 3.5 to 1 assist to turnover ratio, certainly better than Luka Doncic, by the way. Put Peyton Pritchard in as a starter. He shot 40.7% from three this year. He was 84.5% from the free throw line. I know he's not a starter, but he is a heck of a point guard. Peyton Pritchard rounds out my all-white NBA team for 2024-25. Luka Doncic does belong on that list, but Luka Doncic is still overrated, and I want to drive that point home.